Hello, I'm Kate Jones, here with an excerpt from a recent interview that I did with philanthropist and author Iris November and two of her four daughters, the Reverend Rachel Hollander, also an author, and Anita Hollander, an actress and composer. In this short episode, we'll focus primarily on Iris's latest book, which was inspired by Anita and her daughter, Holland Rebecca Hamilton. Rachel wrote a blurb for this memoir activity book, describing it as both a love letter from a great-grandmother as well as a creative way of preserving memories, something to cherish and share as a legacy for years to come. We'll begin with Rachel elaborating on her description of Goodnight, Shoebox.
It's also a really great tool for anyone dealing with any kind of brain injury or anyone who's nonverbal, anyone with any kind of inability to retain information. So people dealing with Alzheimer's, dementia, on the spectrum, anyone who needs help remembering and keeping track of family. So it's a way to stay connected in all different ways.
That's marvelous. And it comes in 3 different editions.
Yes, it does.
Please tell us about that, Iris.
I would love to tell you about that. The book started out as Goodnight, Shoebox. And then we decided that we would give it another title. And it was Lila Tov Shoebox, which is Goodnight, Sweet Dreams in Hebrew. And then, not to ignore our wonderful Hispanic friends, we have Buenas Noches Shoebox. And what it really is a chance at a calm part of the evening for a child or an adult to say goodnight to someone in their family. For people who are far away, maybe their families don't live near them, you put a photograph on each page. You say goodnight, Bubby, goodnight, cousin Rachel, or goodnight, puppy dog, or goodnight, doctor. And this brings their family and their village into their evening program. And it's a very sweet way to say goodnight. It all happened. May I tell the story?
Well, of course. And Anita, you need to jump in too.
Yeah, she will. When my first great-grandchild was born, my first grandchild, Holland Rebecca, she lived in New York City, and all the rest of the family was all over the country. So Anita would take out a shoebox, put all her photographs in, and each night she'd take out a photograph and say goodnight to Bubby, say goodnight to Nanny, say goodnight to Papa, and show the photograph to Holland, and Holland would repeat in her own way, goodnight, Papa, goodnight, Nanny. And I realized years later, now this wonderful Holland Rebecca is the mother of Ashia Iris. Don't you love that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and she's having her 2nd birthday. And I must say, Ashia and I are 90 years and 1 day apart. She was born 1 day after my 90th birthday. So we are always tied together. And I adore her, of course. I adore all my great-grandchildren. Anyhow.
And your children.
If you insist, yes.
We're not as cute as the great-grands.
Oh, God, no. No one's as cute as the great-grandchildren. And there are now 7 of them, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we got one on the way in October, another one. Anyhow, that was the idea that hit me. It was funny. It took me 9 months to make this book to come to fruition. It was like I birthed the book, the first book, Goodnight Shoebox. And may I say that it's on Amazon under either Iris November or Goodnight Shoebox, Lila Tov Shoebox, or Buenas Noches Shoebox. Enjoy. It's really wonderful.
So, Anita, how did you come up with this? What inspired you?
I care about legacy. I care a lot about legacy. And maybe because I almost died of cancer at 21, when you realize that a young age that you may not be around for very long, maybe that's when you start to think, I better leave something for others. And of course, mom and dad were perfect examples of people who are leaving behind things that are for other people to benefit by. So we used to call my mom Grandma Camera, because whenever she'd visit Holland, her face was behind a camera. She was taking pictures, and we're lucky to have those pictures, but she was always taking pictures. So Grandma Camera was her name. So every night, we'd have these great pictures that mom would give us after a visit or whatever. And we'd go through pictures and we would talk about who these people are. It really is a great tool, because now I noticed my daughter's been doing that with her daughter. And we have this little video of her looking at the holiday card that has all of our pictures on it. And she speaks to each one. And then she turned to her mother and went, hi, because she had said hello to everybody. And now she was saying hello to her mom. So it really was moving to me that mom dedicated the book to us, because it really hadn't dawned on me how significant it is to have a book full of these pictures. And I think what Rachel said is so valuable, because when someone has dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever, is that you sit with them and they're looking at the pictures. This is your daughter. This is your whatever. It's a tool as much as it is a delightful thing. I mean, when we grew up, mom taught us how to do scrapbooks and all that stuff. And I finally had to dismantle all the old scrapbooks and then digitize everything. And I know she's going through them all too, but it's more than just a book of pictures. It's really valuable. And with the advent of social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it's become even more of a thing that we connect with each other that way. So thanks, Mom.
You're welcome. One other thing that I loved about this is that Holland, as a baby, didn't know me except through my pictures. Yet when they would arrive at the airport and she'd come running, she would scream, Grandma, Grandma, because she knew me from the pictures in the shoebox. And oh my God, I was a blob on the floor. In this day and age, when what Anita said, we have Facebook and all of those things, but you don't hold those in your hand.
Yes.
And I swear there's a gut reaction when you have a photograph in your hand or in the book and you talk about it. And it lasts, because in Facebook, it blips away fast.
There's something about holding something. It's in your hand. It becomes part of your body, and it just has more impact.
It does. And it's visceral. That's what
Yes.
I call it. We all found that to be true, and we wanted to share it with everybody else. I couldn't believe I did this book. Hey, guys, I'm 92, okay?
Oh, yeah, but you act like a 60-year-old, and you look like a 65-year-old.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Genes, really good genes.
Good genes, for sure. No, seriously, you are the youngest 90-something-year-old on the planet, I think.
Yeah, I'm the youngest one I know.
My mom taught me a wise lesson. People tend to think that I'm younger than I am. And I always say, my mom told me, if you act immature and dress like a slob, no one will know how old you are. And I have stood by that.
Yes, you have.
That's excellent. What good advice.
She listens to her mother. I've always also said, ask people when they want to know how old you are, say, how old do you think I am? And with Rachel, they always come up with 20 years younger. And her answer is, well, I'm around there.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Anything else you want to say about Goodnight Shoebox?
It fits nicely in your hands. The colors are wonderful. And I really would like more people to realize its benefits, again, as what we were saying, with people with aging brains. It's really hard. And I'm in that area now. I watch my friends having issues, and people are beginning to recognize that it's useful from 0 to 99.
People may not understand that the idea is that you put the pictures here, so you say goodnight to each one as you go by their pictures. It is as much a tool as it is delightful and pretty and purple, my favorite color.
Also, it's paper bound, and the cover has a nice feel to it. And the book itself is the shoebox. It
Exactly.
takes the place of a shoebox. And that is so cool. So it's still the whole spirit of what Holland did. And now it's in this convenient little, package. It's just absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
Want to talk briefly about your other book while we're at it?
Sure. Back in 2011, my late husband, Mort, and I, we're philanthropists. I've told people this so many times. Giving while you're around to see the benefit of your gift is the win-win situation. Don't wait and leave it all in your trust or whatever you call those things for after you're gone, and then people inherit it, and you haven't shared in the joy of seeing all the good that the money can do. So if you have $1, give $1. If you have more, give more. But watch what happens when you fund, and you can fund something for $100 or $1 million. Anybody want to share with me $1 million? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a double win-win. And that's what we've done. So the book grew out of that. It's called The Fine Art of Schnorring, which is the Yiddish word for begging. And this is begging raised to a high level, because you ask for items, you give the items away, and people are thrilled to receive them. And it's a very sweet little book. It's funny, very funny.
It is.
And it takes philanthropy to a different level. And we had so much fun with it. And it's in a lot of offices where people are, what do you call them, fundraisers?
Development.
That's the word I'm looking for, development people. And they show it to their clients and they laugh about it because it's silly. But it's also got a message, and that is when you ask for something and they can't give it to you, you say, thank you for listening. Because a year later, they'll come back to you and say, remember when you needed some money for that? Well, now I have some money. I'd like to give it to you. You can't lose when you take it to that fine level.
You're kind, and you spread that kindness.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's kindness.
Can I also add that it's not just money, because back in the day, my mom and Mort used to put these backpacks together. A school would have a contest, I guess, and the kids that would win were going to Greenfield Village.
That's right. We send groups out every year.
And they'd be on this big bus, and they would get this backpack, and it would have little notebooks and pencils and maybe a yo-yo and a kazoo, whatever they could schnorr.
Yes.
Would go into this backpack. And so it's not just, give me your money. It was, hey, can you give me 50 notepads for this kid's thing? Absolutely. We get a package of notepads. Can you give me some colored pencils? Sure. And these backpacks would just be full of goodies. And these kids would get on the bus and have entertainment for 3 hours.
That is terrific.
Yeah, and they'd be happy. We even schnorred suitcases for them one time, and sleeping bags. We schnorred that from a department store in Chautauqua, New York, actually. We never stopped schnorring. It was sort of embarrassing, but in a nice way,
Well, you're good at it.
Yeah, you smile a lot.
I could even take it a step further. We live in subsidized housing for performing artists, 3 blocks from Times Square. We're very lucky. And in order to give back, we don't always have money, because an artist's income goes up and down and up and down, and you're never sure if you have money now, you will have it next month. So I started doing something a year ago, which is based on Mom and Mort. People would say, do you have anything to offer for this auction? And I was like, well, I could write somebody a song. And it turned out people wanted a song.
Oh my gosh, yes.
$15,000 to a temple, to a synagogue, because 3 different people wanted a song. And when they went for the bidding, they were up to $5,000. Each of these couples paid $5,000, and I wrote them a song. And it was great because I knew these people. So I wrote it about them, and it was really so exciting that 3 months later, from my high school reunion in Shaker Heights High School, they said, do you have anything for the auction? And I'm like, I can't afford to donate Broadway tickets, because if you've noticed, the price of Broadway tickets would never work. I mean, it's like way over the roof for now. But I said I could write somebody a song. And one couple took me up on it, and they paid a good amount of money for me to write them a song. The husband had gone to school with me, but not the wife. So we talked and I wrote them a song. 9 months later, I got these flowers. I was like, what are these? Well, we still are singing that song that you wrote for us. And so I was able to give money to my school by writing somebody a song. Mom and Mort and my dad too. I mean, they all sort of put forward this idea of legacy, leave something, whatever you have to give it to somebody, and then it helps somebody else and all that.
For more, please check out the other 5 excerpts, or if you have the time, the full episode. It's quite an extraordinary conversation. Thank you for following Everyday Creation.